everybody out there in Rumble, X, and YouTube land. Welcome back to Diego Knows. I, of course, am Diego, and today we're going to talk some more about Wicked. That's right, Wicked. I'm making a lot of videos about this movie, aren't I? Damn it. Well, we're halfway through it, okay? I'm going to go over everything about this movie. And a funny little story here. Yesterday, I was online. And I noticed, now I already told you that Wicked is playing on streaming now. You can watch it on streaming. You can buy it and watch it on streaming now. You want to watch it at home. Well, it's still playing in some theaters. Okay. And I noticed an ad online for Wicked. The sing-along version. Okay. Where they actually put the lyrics to all the songs at the bottom of the screen, so that the audience can go in there and we can sing along with the songs from Wicked. All right. Now, I've done this before. I actually watched, several years ago, I watched Grease with my girlfriend at that time. We went to go see Grease. It was the sing-along. Okay, so of course there was a bunch of middle-aged people in the theater. All of us singing, tell me more, with a lot of them getting fucked up too. Okay. And so I thought it'd be a little bit fun, and I'm reviewing the movie, right? So I was like, I asked my son, hey, you want to go see it? This way you can sing along. And he said, yes, my little 8-year-old. So we went, and the theater was actually pretty full. So we went there and we watched it again last night. The sing-along version. All right. Now, this time I wasn't writing my notes, and trying to be critical and stuff. I just sat there and enjoyed the movie as best I could. And every time you watch a movie over and over again, you catch things that you didn't catch before. And I caught several things that I missed while I was reviewing it, like scenes that I already talked about that I missed. Okay, so I want to go over that with you real quickly before I continue my review of where we left off. Okay, first of all, you're going to remember in the very beginning of Wicked, you heard that radio broadcast about the Wicked Witch of the West being dead, and it was Glenda's voice. Okay, well, I don't think it was. Well, I mean, they do have radios there because we do see that in the movie later on. They do actually have a radio station in us, okay, because they do broadcast on the radio. This makes no sense. It's supposed to be a magical land, but yet they invented transistors and stuff. Where are all the automobiles? Okay. And they definitely know about our world, clothing and style and stuff. Anyway, so it sounds like it's a radio broadcast, okay, but it could have been a speaker, who knows, okay, or in an intercom system or something like that. But that's what it sounded like, with the scraggly, intercom sound that you hear when people are talking on the intercom. And you see, the first thing you see in the movie is you see the puddle of water, then you see the witch's canonical hat, okay, the pointy black hat. Then you hear, yes, it's true, the Wicked Witch is dead, blah, blah, blah. And then you see all the monkeys, the blue flying monkeys flying out of there, out of this castle, okay, we're inside the castle, okay, out through the window. Okay, and what's the first thing you see? Okay, the first thing you see the bridge, okay, that in the original movie, that was the lion, the scarecrow, and the Tin Man. They had to disguise themselves as soldiers that worked there, and they crossed the bridge, right, to the castle. Well, you see that, and what's the first thing you see? Now, I did notice it, but I didn't really pay any attention to it until later on. But the first thing you see is someone wearing a hood and a cape on a horse, and they're galloping on that bridge. You never see who it is, because you don't see the back of them, and from the top, no less, a bird's eye view. So who is that person? Who is it? Now, one thing I did catch in the scene, and I mentioned this in a few videos ago, is when the camera's panning through, you see the waterfall, you see the blue monkeys, and then you see a rainbow, and then the camera goes over the rainbow, and then that's when you see Dorothy and the Tin Man and the Scarecrow and the Lion and Toto, and Dorothy's carrying the broomstick, and they're walking down the yellow brick road headed towards the Emerald City. Okay, now I did catch that. But this one, who was that person on the horse with the cape on? Okay, who was that person? It's never mentioned at all in this movie. Well, I know who it was. Okay, I figured it out. Now, I've told you before that I have never seen the Broadway show. Okay, all I've done is read this book. I listened to the entire thing, Gregory Maguire's novel, which I enjoyed it. But I've never seen the Broadway show because I'm not gay. Okay, and what I understand from I've never even seen the YouTube version of the Broadway show, but my understanding is that at the end they changed the book's ending. In the book, Elphaba did die at the end. That's it. She's dead. Okay, Dorothy really did kill her. Okay, but but apparently in the I guess that was you spend 3 hours of the Broadway show building Elphaba up, making you emphasize with the character, making you feel sorry for her when things go bad for her, being happy for her when she gets empowered and all that kind of crap. Okay, so if you're gonna do that to our hero, okay, then why kill her off at the end? It's such a downer ending, right? Well, that's the ending in the book. Okay, but in the Broadway show, you can't kill her off because the audience already loves her. They love her. So they have to give her a happy ending. Okay. So apparently in the Broadway show, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you've seen the show and I'm wrong, please put it in the comments. Okay, my understanding is that Elphaba actually faked her death. She faked her death. She's actually not allergic to water. That was just a story she perpetrated to make people think that she had a weakness. Okay? Because she does cry in this. We saw her cry on the dance floor when she went to that party, and the tears didn't burn her skin like it did for Mila Kunis's character in Oz the Great and Powerful movie, the one with James Franco. Okay, when that Wicked Witch cried, her tears burned into her skin, and it caused her a lot of pain. That didn't happen here. So if Elphaba is immune to her own tears, I'm pretty sure she's immune to water. So there's that. Okay. Also, at the end of the Broadway show, Elphaba, I guess the Scarecrow comes back after Dorothy already left, and then the Wizard already left. Scarecrow comes back and frees Elphaba as she was hiding, and they run off together. Because the Scarecrow apparently is Fiyero. Okay, he's the reincarnated Fiyero into a Scarecrow to save him from getting killed or something. I don't remember, something like that. All right, none of this happened in the book. Okay, this didn't happen in the book, and I never saw a Broadway show. Okay, so apparently Elphaba put a spell on Fiyero to turn him into a Scarecrow so he wouldn't get killed, something like that. So Elphaba and Fiyero, they leave Oz together, happily in love and all that kind of crap. Okay, I guess that's what happens in the Broadway show. Well, if they're adapting the Broadway show, not the book, the Broadway show into a movie, then I'm pretty sure that Elphaba faked her death, okay? Because Cynthia Erivo did a great job of portraying an empathetic Elphaba, okay? That you feel sorry for her and you root for her. She was really good at that. I got to credit where credit's due. I may not like her personally, and I sure as fuck don't like her politics, okay? But she is a great actress in this role. She does an incredible Elphaba. I felt sorry for Elphaba, okay? Her performance won me over. Okay, so I wanted Elphaba to succeed, okay, because of her performance, all right? So I think that what they did was, I think that the guy that was riding on the horseback is Elphaba. And probably Fiyero. You can't really tell if it's more than one person there, okay, but it's one horse, okay? But with the shroud, with the cape and the hood, you can't really tell if it's one or two people, all right? But they're galloping pretty fast. So I'm guessing that's Elphaba running off to meet with Fiyero. That's what I think it is, okay? Okay, and that's the reason it's not mentioned. And it will be revealed in part 2, which comes out next year. It will be, this year, sorry, it comes out this year. It's 2025. It will be revealed that Elphaba faked her death. So there, I'm spoiling it for you right now. But if you saw the Broadway show, which you probably did, okay, then you already know this, all right? So that's what I think that was, okay? And I didn't catch it before, but I'm catching it now, so I'm calling it out right now. Another thing I didn't notice, you remember when I talked about that scene, okay, where Fiyero first meets Elphaba. When we're introduced to Fiyero, he's on his horse, and he almost trampled her. Now, during that scene, Elphaba had just left Dr. Dilliman's house, okay, and she was walking alone at night. She had a lamp, okay, but in the woods, in the dark, and she almost gets run over by Fiyero and his horse. Well, remember I said something like Fiyero was talking to himself in that video? I said he's talking to himself. Like he says out loud, oh, I finally got rejected by a woman. I guess it's a first for everything. Okay, he said it out loud. I figured the dude likes to talk to himself. I actually said that in the video. Okay, well, watching it again last night, I realized the horse talks. Okay, Fiyero's horse talks. And I didn't catch that before. Fiyero's horse can talk. He only talks in this scene. He never talks again in the movie, which is the reason why I probably didn't think about it. But he actually does talk to his horse. The horse has a voice, okay? It's never mentioned again in the movie. We never see the horse talk again in the movie, but the horse does talk. So he was talking to the horse, not to himself. Okay, so I caught that. All right, and also the scene that we talked about earlier. Okay, where Elphaba went to that party. Okay, that nightclub, whatever you if you want to call it that, where all the animals were playing the instruments. You know, everyone from her school snuck out and went there. Okay, during that scene, I finally got a chance to pay attention to what the people were wearing. Okay, in that nightclub. Okay, in that ballroom, I guess they called it. Okay, and if you pay attention there, you will notice that most of the humans that are there, most of the people that are there, whether they're black or white, okay, in that nightclub, okay, where Elphaba walks in her brim hat, looking all stupid. She does her performance dance and shit, the shit that she does, all that stupid ass shit. Okay, and I went to art school. I've seen plenty of that. Okay, you'll notice that the people are all wearing, they're all dressed like flappers from the 1920s. Yes, look at it. Okay, the girls all have the short hair, about 60 fucking necklaces. Okay, the sequence skirts. Okay, gowns with the skirts. The gloves, the arm gloves that go up past your elbows. Okay, and the weird fucking hats that the girls wore back then. In the 1920s, the girls always wore some sort of jewelry shit all over their head. In the 1920s. Well, the girls in this movie in the nightclub are dressed like that. And I didn't catch that before. Well, that's dating it. Okay, that's telling you it's the 1920s, but yet the Wizard of Oz movie came out in 1939, so the Roaring Twenties would have been well over by then. And this book came out in 1900. Okay, written in 1899. So, that fashion hadn't come in yet, hadn't started yet. Okay, so where the fuck does this movie take place? Okay, so just there's things like that. Okay. And also something else that I had to point out to my son, okay, which the people that were sitting next to me in the theater, they kind of noticed it too, because it was sing along so you can talk during the movie, and which really pissed me off was, why the fuck does the Wizard of Oz have a giant mechanical head, okay, to be the wizard, okay? Every motherfucker in Oz knows that the wizard is a normal human being. Now, they think he's got magical powers. They think he can cast spells from the Grimoire book. Okay, that's the MacGuffin in the movie. Okay, that's the book of spells, all right? But everybody knows that he's just a tall guy, with 2 legs and 2 arms and a full head of hair, and he wears, a turn of the century, outfit, a suit from the 1890s. That's green, okay? And that he looks like Jeff Goldblum. He's Jewish, okay? So everybody already knows what the wizard looks like, okay? So when they meet the wizard, they know what to expect. If they see a giant mechanical head with a gravelly demonic voice, they're gonna know this isn't the wizard. This is just why is he trying to scare me? I know this thing's not real. Remember in the original Wizard of Oz, when Dorothy first met the wizard, we saw this big holographic head with sharp teeth and pointy ears, and you saw the gas torches blowing out every time he spoke. Okay, it was a big fucking show, right? The wizard needed a lot of machines to keep that illusion going. But everybody in Oz thought that's what the wizard really looked like. Okay? Nobody said, why am I looking at an illusion here? Where's the real wizard? Why are they trying to scare me with it? Nobody says that. But in this movie, the wizard has this big head of his that's supposed to intimidate people that come to visit him, but yet everybody already knows that the wizard is not a big mechanical head. He is actually a normal looking human being. A tall human being. I mean, Jeff Goldblum, I think, is 6'6". Okay, but that's what he is. Everybody already knows that in Oz. So why would he build this head if everybody already knows that he looks like a normal human being? You see what I mean? This makes no sense. That was the shock. That was the surprise at the end of the movie. The original Wizard of Oz movie in 1939, the shock, the surprise, and in the book was that the wizard was just a normal guy. That was the twist. You see what I mean? And here, there is no twist to that. Because everybody in Munchkinland already knows what the wizard looks like. Okay, they got little statues of him everywhere. They got a Mount Rushmore thing of him. Okay, at Shiz University, they got placards that look like him. Okay, when Elphaba was a little girl, she opened up a pop-up book that had a drawing of him. Okay, how he really looks. Everyone knows he's not a big fucking mechanical head. Everybody knows that already. So why would that be in there? See, that's a plot hole that really, really just pisses me off. The only reason that head is in this movie is because there was a giant head of the wizard in the original movie. That is the only reason. But canonically and story structure wise, okay, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. Everybody already knows it's a normal guy. Now, in the book, The Wicked, okay, people thought the wizard was this big mechanical head. Okay, that's what they thought the wizard was, because so few people had ever seen the wizard or knew what he really looked like. Okay, but in this movie, everyone already knows the wizard is just a normal guy, and that kind of pisses me off. It takes me out of the movie. It really does. With all the good things in the movie, that's one of the bad. It really takes me out. It really pisses me off. Everybody knows he's a wizard, so why the fuck would he build this fucking giant head when everybody already knows that's not him? You see what I mean? All right. So these are some of the things that I noticed, okay, when I watched Wicked last night. Okay, some of the songs and stuff, it's just like, they mispronounce a lot of words. They have like words like Fabulet Magnifilis, or Wonderifical, stuff like that. They made up words. Glinda says words like that all the damn time. All right, just weird things like that I noticed when I was watching it last night. All right, okay. So anyway, moving right along. Where did we leave off during this review here? Okay, now where we left off, okay, is all right. Elphaba's back home. Okay, she's back in the university. Okay, everyone's back at the university. We already had the girl bonding moment. Okay, we already had the thing where where Elphaba put her entire class after Dr. Dilliman gets arrested in class. The new professor brings in this baby lion, a cub who's scared. We know who that is. Okay, Elphaba uses the poppy flowers that she brought in for Dr. Dillamon because those are his favorite flowers. Now she can't give it to him because he just got arrested. So she gets upset that nobody in the classroom is stopping the guards. Yes, there's guards at this university, despite the fact that none of them ever tried to stop the students from sneaking in and off campus in the middle of the night. Okay, and she smashes these poppy flowers onto the desk, and everyone in the class, the new professor, the guards, okay, the students, everybody passes out except for Elphaba and Fiyero. I don't understand. If everybody's breathing in the pollen, okay, from these poppy seeds, then how is it that they, who are also breathing it in, do not pass out? It makes absolutely no sense. Obviously, the excuse for the movie is, well, Elphaba used her powers. Well, how does she fucking have powers? She can't even fucking control her powers when she tries to. How the fuck would she be able to control this? How can she control Fiyero from breathing it in? Wouldn't that mean he couldn't breathe? But he's breathing. I mean, Glinda's right next to him and she passed out. Elphaba smashed the poppies right in front of her own face. Okay, if the first one to breathe it in would have been Elphaba, and yet she's unaffected. How does magic stop these what do you call it? These pollens from inhaling them? How does that work? It's never explained. Much of this movie, how does Elphaba get her powers? I understand that, the wizard is her dad. He was drinking that stuff, okay? And that her mom, Melina, the governess of Munchkin Land, she was drinking it too when she was cheating on her husband with the wizard, okay? And conceived Elphaba, okay? But she didn't get any powers from drinking that. And the wizard didn't get any powers from drinking that. But yet Elphaba was born with green skin, but she also has telekinetic powers. How did that happen? What is the excuse for her having telekinetic powers? She didn't have those powers in the book. She gets powers by actually going through school and learning how to do it. Learning how to throw fireballs. Learning how to teleport. She couldn't do that stuff on her own. She wasn't just born like that, being able to levitate things whenever she fucking felt like it or whenever she got moody. Okay? And the fact that she even picked up her crippled sister and threw her up in the air. Okay, earlier when she lost her temper. Okay, this woman is dangerous. And everybody knows it, but nobody's taking it seriously. They're still making fun of her. Now, I already went on a rant about this a couple of videos ago, that Elphaba is basically Carrie. But the difference between the movie Carrie and this movie is that in the movie Carrie, nobody knew that Carrie had powers. If they did, they probably would not have made fun of her. Okay? Everybody at Shiz University knows that Elphaba has levitation powers. Okay, but yet they still ridiculed her. They still made fun of her until Glinda said, no, don't make fun of her anymore. Okay, no, anybody that knew a student could do that to them wouldn't make fun of her. They'd be afraid. They would report her. They were trying to get her kicked out of school, okay? Because she's a danger to the other students. She's a danger to the faculty. She's a danger to herself. The fact that she can't control her powers means she might accidentally kill somebody. You see what I mean? And yet none of that is even touched in during this movie. No one even brings up that topic. No one's even concerned. All we get is Madame Morrible going like, yes, you're incredible, you're wonderful, you're fucking dangerous. Anyway, that's not a good message to send when the whole point of this movie is to show you, the audience, that Elphaba is actually a good person. She's actually not wicked. Anyway, so that's going on here. They take the cub. Fiyero and her, of course, she's in love with Fiyero because he's the hot guy. He's got even though his ears stick out like this and he looks like he's fucking 37 years old because he is, but he's playing like a 21-year-old, okay? And they go out to the woods and they free the lion, okay? And she touches him, and he's like, and his pussy gets all wet. And then she puts her hand on his cheek. He's like, just like that. And then when she tells him that, you only pretend to be shallow, he's like, excuse me, I am deeply shallow. No, you're not, because if you were, you wouldn't be so unhappy. And he's like, well, that just stopped him in his track. Oh my God, such deep insight there. Okay. And all this like impresses him and makes his pussy wet. Okay. So now he's in love with Elphaba, despite the fact that she's the ugliest girl in school. But you got to remember a gay guy wrote this. So, this is what they think straight guys are like, especially high value straight guys like this. All right. Anyway, moving right along. Okay. So, Elphaba gets summoned. Okay. She, at the university, all of a sudden, Madame Morrible knows that Elphaba was the one that knocked out everybody in Dr. Dillamond's class, so she writes the letter to the Wizard of Oz. The Wizard of Oz sends a messenger back, which is basically this tiny little mechanical floating balloon, hot air balloon, with a machine in it that spits out an invitation, okay? All the students are there. They all excited when it arrives. There's Morrible's there. Elphaba takes it, and basically the note there says that you are invited to visit the Wizard of Oz. By the way, this invitation is non-transferable. That's the joke, all right? Okay, so that's going on here. So she's officially invited to meet the Wizard of Oz. Everybody's excited for Elphaba. They all love her now. Now she's the most popular girl at school, okay? So she's summoned to the Emerald City. Madame Morrible tells Elphaba that she will have to prove herself when she gets there, the way that Morrible herself had to prove herself. Madame Morrible is the dean of sorcery at Shiz University, but she only does a seminar every once in a while, and she only does seminars with students that she feels are worthy. Right now, she has two students, Elphaba, who she knows Elphaba's got powers right away, so now she wants to teach her how to harness those powers, and she took on Glinda because Elphaba made her do it. Okay, so she's got two students, but she doesn't really give a crap about Glinda. All she cares about is Elphaba because Elphaba's got telekinetic powers. All right, now Madame Morrible herself has powers. She can control the weather, but we don't really see her do that except in this scene right here. Okay, where it starts to rain, you hear a thunderstorm. All of a sudden, Madame Morrible puts an umbrella over Elphaba because apparently she knows Elphaba is allergic to water, or she thinks Elphaba is allergic to water. Okay, at this moment, when you hear the thunderstorms and all that, Elphaba doesn't flinch. Like, you would think that if she heard that and she's out in the open, that the first thing she'd want to do is look for shelter to get away from the water, right? But yeah, she doesn't. She's just like, okay. And then while Morrible puts the umbrella over her. And then, of course, Morrible controls the weather and stops the rain from falling, okay? So, but she tells Elphaba, hey, you need to, this is good for you. You need to prove yourself when you get there, all right? Okay, and so that's going on here. Now, the very next scene is the train station. You got this big green CGI train, okay, turn of the century, steampunk. Everything in the Emerald City is steampunk, by the way. Okay, and at the train station, Frexbar is there. That's the governor of Munchkin Land. Now, he thinks, we're not really sure what he thinks about his two daughters as far as his parentage of them. Okay, in the book, Frexbar did not know that Elphaba was not his real biological daughter. He did not know that his wife cheated on him. Okay, but he did know that his second child, Nissa Rose, was not his biological daughter. He did know that. Okay, we don't know about the situation with him in this movie. Okay, because every time we see him, he's just his asshole. Okay, he loves Nyssa Rose to death. That's his crippled daughter, but he hates his first daughter, Elphaba. Does he know that's his real daughter or not? I don't know. Okay, it's not revealed so far, at least. It's not revealed whether he knows that Elphaba is his daughter or not. Okay, but he hates Elphaba. He loves Nyssa Rose. At the train station, this is the first time that Frexbar, who is the governor of Munchkinland, okay, meets Nyssa Rose's boyfriend, Bach. Now, Bach is a Munchkin himself, so he already knows who Nyssa Rose is and who Elphaba is and who Frexbar is. That's his governor. He grew up in Munchkinland just like they did, okay? And so he knows that. He's kind of nervous to meet him. This is his girlfriend's, father, by the way. And, of course, he makes a threat, I don't know, a kind-hearted threat, but he makes a threat to Bach, like, you better take care of my daughter and you better not hurt her or else. You understand? That kind of thing, He's like, oh, I think I understand. Now, Bach is he is a beta male, okay? He's in love with Glinda, but Glinda would never like him because, although in real life, Ariana Grande and him, Ethan Slater is the actor's name, are a couple in real life. They both left their spouses, okay? And he also left his newborn daughter to be with each other, okay? So in real life, they're both a couple of assholes. But in this movie, he's pining for Glinda, but Glinda only has eyes for Fiyero, okay? And he knows that and it pisses him off. Okay, so he basically took the consolation prize of dating Nyssa Rose, but I think he legitimately likes her now. Okay, he likes being with her despite the fact that she's crippled and he'll never be able to have sex with her. Okay, I think he genuinely likes her though. All right, but not as much as he likes Glinda. That's obvious. Okay, but he's a beta male. He's not attractive. He's got very little self-confidence. Okay, that kind of thing, all right? He's not your typical good-looking, tall, big dick, square-jawed, ripped abs, royalty, super rich, super bad boy, charming, self-confident guy like Fiyero is, okay? He's definitely none of those things, all right? So he's basically, down there, socially, all right? So we do see that scene real quickly, okay? Like I said, he shits himself when Frexbar warns him, okay? And then we noticed that all the students there at Shiz University are fucking gay. It's pretty obvious. One thing I did notice when I watched Wicked last night was that Fiyero is actually bisexual. Now I know he's played by Jonathan Bailey, who is gay in real life. Yes, the leading man is played by a gay actor. I guess there's rules that, like, if you're straight, you cannot play a gay guy in Hollywood, but if you're gay, you can play a straight guy. However the fuck that works. But anyway, and I did notice that. I didn't notice it before, but Fiyero is bisexual, at least at the minimum, okay? Because he does things where he touches men in a way that he doesn't touch women. He also flirts with the men. Okay, I thought it was just the men. All the men are apparently gay at Shiz University except for Bach. Okay, because all the men were also flirting with Fiyero, not just the women. The men were all flirting with him too. And he was flirting back. Now, the way he flirts with the women is he makes witty banter and stuff and smiles and makes these faces like that. With the men, he actually touches them, okay? I noticed that Fiyero was touching the men in their heads. He was touching them by the head and going like this. He does that to Bach earlier in the library scene. He does that to another guy in the library scene where he's singing about, I forgot what it was called, Dancing Through Life, whatever, when he's singing that song. He's touching men, okay? And he's touching them in their faces, in their necks, in their cheeks, he's even giving them looks too. Like the guys, he's giving the guys looks too. So he's definitely bisexual, which doesn't fucking exist, by the way. That's why this is a fantasy movie. Okay, bisexual men are just gay guys in denial. All right, but anyway, which is exactly what what Fiyero is. All right. But yes, he actually touches the men. Watch the movie again, especially the dancing scene, the Dancing Through Life scene in the library. He's actually touching guys, all right? And straight guys don't touch each other that way, all right? So I did notice that last night, which I didn't notice it before, but I noticed it last night. All right, so anyway, so moving right along, at the train station there, all the students there are gay, okay? And they're all there to wish Elphaba good luck on her journey to get on the train and go over there, okay? Okay, and of course, I think I mentioned this before, at no time ever does Glinda wear the school uniform. All the other students wear the school uniform. Okay, the Harry Potter fucking uniform. Okay, because Shiz University is a private school. Okay, all the students wear the uniform except for Glinda. Glinda goes through all of her classes wearing her pink outfit. She never once wears the school uniform like all the other students. Fiyero is a fucking royalty, and he has to wear the fucking uniform. Okay, even Elphaba wears a version of the uniform. Even Bach wears the uniform, although he likes to wear it with a fucking Cosby sweater on top of it. Okay, but everybody wears the fucking uniform except for Glinda, and it's never explained. She's not royalty. She's not the Queen of Oz. Nothing like that. She's not even a sorceress. Okay, she just comes from a rich family. That's it. From the north side of Oz, Upland. Her name is Glinda Upland. Okay, and she's from the upper part of Oz. That's it. But yeah, she does not have to conform by the uniform regulations that all the other students have to, and she was given her own room. Okay? All the other students have to roommate, have to bunk up with somebody. Okay, it's only because of her, because she made a mistake that Elphaba got forced to be her roommate. Okay, if she hadn't screwed up and raised her hand at the wrong moment, Elphaba would be living with somebody else. You see what I mean? How is it she gets all these privileges that no other student gets? It makes no sense. It's never explained. Anyway, so that's going on here. Okay, Glinda tells Elphaba, she calls her Elfie, by the way, Elfie, that she wants, that she will miss her. And Elphaba says like, oh, you've got Fiyero. Okay. By the way, where's Fiyero? You know, I was just wondering because, you know, because blah, 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 because I like her. And, blah, 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 you know, and I noticed him about, blah, 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 and we were talking the other day, blah, 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 and he says, you know, so basically she's telegraphing that she also has the hots for Glinda's boyfriend. Okay. That even though they're friends and stuff, okay, the truth is that she likes the same guy that Glinda likes. Okay. Okay, of course she does. She can't like a normal guy. She can only like the guy that everyone else, both men and women, wants to be with, all right? Because she's the boss bitch, she deserves the best, right? Yeah, I mean, Elphaba's the kind of girl that if Bach were to hit on her, she would shoot him down. Yeah, right. Anyway, so that's going on. Glinda says like, well, you know, Fiyero's been acting different lately. You know, he's distant and moodified. That's one of those fake words they use, like, you know, like Fabumagnificus. Okay, she's moodified. He's been thinking, which worries me. You know, who knew he cared so much about that goat, Dr. Dillamon, when he got arrested? You know, that kind of thing. Anyway, so Fiyero does arrive, okay, with this flower on his fucking jacket or whatever the fuck. Okay, you're right. Of course, he just stares down Elphaba. Like, he never takes his eyes off of her. And of course, Elphaba's like that. And of course, Glinda's oblivious to all this. Okay, you know. Okay, you know, he's there. Okay, Fiyero says like, "Congratulations, Elphaba. I've been thinking a lot about what happened to Dr. Dillamond. I've been thinking a lot about that day. I think about it a lot. I think about it too." I've been thinking a lot about how super attractive, rich, charming, tall, witty, 36-year-old looking Giga Chads would fall in love with an ugly, green-skinned, 37-year-old looking 19-year-old political activist. And Alpha was like, so do I. Now Glinda's starting to get suspicious here, okay? And then she gets between them, like physically gets between them. And Glinda says like, me too! We should take a stand, you know? And so Glinda makes an announcement. She goes up to the other students there that are waiting by the train. Okay, but everybody's just waiting for Elphaba. They're just waiting for her to get on there. Okay, she's the only person to get on the train and leaving, all right? So Glinda makes an announcement. She says, hey, I have an announcement to make. Everybody, come over here. Look at me. I'm changing my name. You know? And they're like, what? You're changing your name? She's like, yes. She does her hair toss. And then Elphaba says like, are you sure? She's like, another hair toss. Yes. And Glinda says, Dr. Dillamond, pronounced my name wrong. So in solidarity and to protest, to promote my outrage, I will no longer be referred to as Glinda. From now on, I shall be referred to as simply Glinda. Okay, huge applause by all the fucking brainwashed fucking Kamala supporters. All right, okay, and Fanny, of course, the gay Asian guy, okay, who's been up fucking Glinda's ass this entire fucking movie. He's like, oh my god, such bravery, And then Bog, of course, who has a hots for Glinda, not his own girlfriend, goes like, he says, you're wonderful, Glinda. Now, of course, wheelchair-bound Nessa Rose was right next to her boyfriend when he said this, and she looks at Glinda, and she looks up at her boyfriend, and she turns the wheelchair around and gets the fuck out of there, okay? Because she pretty much figured out, okay, that Bach doesn't really like her as much as he likes Glinda, all right? So that's going on here, okay? Fiyero gives Elphaba the flower. He takes the flower off his chest and gives it to her. And he wishes her good luck. And then he leaves. He absolutely leaves without acknowledging Glinda. Doesn't even say goodbye to her. Just leaves. Okay? And Glinda's like, you see, Elphaba, you see? What's that about? Oh, I knew I should have changed my name. And then Elphaba says, like, well, it doesn't matter. Everybody loves you. Which is a good point. Everybody does love Glinda, okay? Doesn't matter if her boyfriend likes another guy. There's plenty of guys that like Glinda. I don't see why. I don't think she's that great looking either. Okay, but Glinda's like, well, I don't care. I want him. I don't even think he's perfect anymore, and I still want him. This must be how other people feel. How do they bear it? Okay, well, at that point, it's time for everybody to get on the train and go to the Emerald City, all right? So I'm going to stop my review right here, but I'll be back shortly to continue my review of Wicked. I thank you very much for watching this long, and I will see you soon on the next one. Bye.